What's up, fight fans? Your boy P. Welsh here, bringing to you UFC 314, Volkanovski versus Lopes. Coming off another pretty solid week, 8-3. That's a 19-4 run. Let's bring it on to the freaking Miami. Let's go into Miami. Nora Cornhole versus Haley Cohen, women's bantamweight division. Cornhole 8-2, coming off a loss to Cavalcanti. Haley Cohen 7-3. Bunch of canceled fights in the narrative. Will she make weight and make the octagon? She has like health and personal issues. Very interesting matchup. Um, just on the fact that they still got to weigh in and see who's gonna win. I think Cornell here is Cornhole. I don't know how to say her name exactly, but I think she was very the easy pick here. I mean, I think she'll, besides Cohen just kind of wrestling and out like maneuvering in the octagon, I think that split decision loss to Cavalcanti, a really close fight, and Cavalcanti's kind of beastly. So let's go get Cornhole here to get the win. If she does make the walk, keep it short and sweet. Move on, baby. We got the men's middleweight division. Trayshawn Gore 6-2 coming off a win versus Marco Tulio 13-1 coming off a win. 6 foot each. 75 and a half a reach disadvantage for Tulio here. And Gore's just never really been impressive, right? When you look at some of his older fights, he was talking about being a double champ, and here we are. He's gonna have to knock him out in the first round for me to believe that. But I think Tulio's actually a beast. I think he's got finish all within him. I think he's going out there trying to finish people. Like, no lie, if you can finish Iho Pretoria, I mean, he's not the greatest fighter, but dude, that's a step up because he's pretty dang talented. Fights really good fighters. So, that's a lot that I can see being a big advantage. One thing that I think Gore has probably an advantage here is the strength department, as in pure strength, but like, what is he gonna do with it? I think, what do we see that with? Like, I mean, you can see it with Torres Finney. You just, okay, he's stronger than the guy. You just hold him there. Like, that's not mixed martial arts. Do damage, use the skill set, control your body weight. That's where I think Tulio can really just dispose of the guy way better than even the opponent could, Robert Valentin. But I really think Tulio's the pick here. I think Tulio could finish him by knockout, probably how I would like him. But yeah, he definitely has some ground game. But I just think Gore's strength will prevent him from locking in any submissions without major damage first. So chances are that he could probably knock him out with the major damage. And let's go, baby. I think it's going to be a very exciting fight card here in Miami. Next, we got the flyweights coming in. Sumadarji, 16-7, coming off a loss versus Mitch Raposo, 9-2, coming off a loss. 5'8" for Sumadarji, 72-inch reach. 5'5" for Mitch Raposo, 65-inch reach. Sumadarji definitely should have the better on the outside and the striking about it. Throughout the minutes, and I think he'll try and control it at a distance, but I think Mitch Raposo is pretty dang explosive for the flyweight division, and I think he packs a lot of power, and I think he's looking for a coming out party here. He did lose split decision to Andre Lima, which is nothing to be ashamed about. The one judge did, it's weird judging, but I think he's got a chance here to really win. I think he's got a chance to control the minutes in the fight, and unless the corrupt judges take it from him, I could see Mitch Raposo catching the dub here. I think he can finish Sumadarji. I think he can wrestle him and get him in good positions and win win the rounds. I think he's going to come in there focused and not worried so much about the length disparity, because I just think Raposo's a great athlete, and those big length disparities matter less and less the lower in weight you go, right? Like, I think of Jose Johnson, Asul Almabayev, right, at flyweight. Like, yeah, the guy's 6 foot, but like, not that when the weight's not that much, the ratio is not as different, right? The speed to power, right? When you're lengthy and small, you're definitely sacrificing some form of power in terms of stockiness and explosiveness. So I'm a big Raposo fan. I mean, I'm never picking against Lima in these videos or even like in life, but Raposo gave him a good fight, that's for sure. I like him here. I think he'll get the job done. I think he's got some dynamite in the hands. I think he can hit him with a punch, lock in some hooks real fast, and it could be over within a minute. Let's go, Mitch Raposo, baby. Next, we're going to the men's middleweight division. SD Dumas versus Michel Olisejczyk. Dumas 10-2 coming off a win versus Olisejczyk 19-9 coming off some losses. What do you want to say there? Dumas not in Abu Dhabi, huh? Against a real opponent that's got dynamite in his hands in Holisejczyk, who's, his biggest problem is the grapple, right? So I think this is kind of a great matchup for him. I think Dumas just kind of gets hit. He kind of stands in the pocket and exchanges, and I think he can get caught on the chin here. I really do. The guys he's lost to, Kai Barallo, Michel Pereira, Kevin Holland, Shara Magomedov, like, they're not bad fighters, all of them, right? They're all respectively, SD Dumas is fighting Dennis Tulaloon and the likes of Cody Brundage, Abu Azai. They're like, I think this guy, Olazechek, can put him out, man. I think he's got a good wingspan to really kind of get in there. And, like, are you going to expect just Dumas to just volume him? Like, maybe Dumas by decision just because he can stay at the outside. But he's going to be able to do that for 15 minutes. Olazechek's got a new gym. So it's like, it's hard for really, like, for me to conceptualize. Like, I could definitely see Dumas just winning a decision because, like, Olasejczak just has no heart in there. Like, it just seems like sometimes he just doesn't want to be in the octagon fighting somebody. Maybe he just likes to train or something like that. But, man, hopefully the new gym, hopefully he gets I think he can hit on the chin. My pick is going to be Olasejczak. Just, like, dude, just not being able to compete with Dennis Tulaloon and not being able to finish him is just not what I want to see from a middleweight. Now, I like Dumas a lot. I think he's a pretty solid fighter, but in this situation, I just kind of see him getting touched on the chin, dude. I don't know. It's not one that I really want to go out on the limb and pick Dumas because, like, those past performances don't lend to the competition that Olazechek is. I also don't want to feel like I'm discrediting those wins in the progression and just winning the fight on the night. You know what I mean? Like, doing what you need to do to win on the night. And there's something about being in that moment as a fighter to, like, walk it, to prep, cut weight, rehydrate, walk into the octagon and know you're going to just beat your opponent in, like, championship style points. I mean, I know he's not there, but I kind of, like, respect that in a way where you kind of have the build up and you just keep fighting and fighting and fighting, getting better over time. And yeah, maybe you'll just, like, just outclass Olazechek tonight, and you'll be better than him. And I think I'm kind of just picking on Olazechek, just kind of getting in there and being aggressive and just in the chin, getting him against the fence, landing something on the body, and making kind of quick work of this. I don't think Dumas really has that KO power, right? Like, he's kind of very, very boxy in a way where he's not really going forward in like you see some guys that just go forward with their power. Should be a great matchup. I'm very excited to see this fight. I really hope it delivers. I'm a little scared we're gonna see a decision fest, which then I think leads to Dumas, just because, like, I just don't know, Olazechek's hard to fight for 15 minutes sometimes. Like, I think he's gonna go trying in there and get a finish, and I think he's got real power. I think he's got a change in scenery. Let's see what it brings here. Boom! Going on to the prelims, baby. Dude, a lot of great scraps on this fight. We got dirty Darren Elkins versus Julian Erosa. Darren Elkins 29-11 coming off a win. Julian Erosa 30-12 coming off a win. Super exciting fight. Darren Elkins already getting he's already got the cut man right next to him. Julian Erosa, 6'1", should be standing, much better striker in this matchup. But I do think Elkins is gonna, he knows what he's gonna take some damage and he's gonna make it dirty. He's gonna get it on the ground. And man, I do think I don't really want to bet on Erosa. I don't think that, like, and I don't want to pick against him because I like Darren Elkins and I really do think he can win this fight. I think he can absolutely do damage to Erosa and finish him by submission. I really do. I think Erosa should win at distance and just piece up Darren Elkins for 15 minutes because, like, if you don't got cardio to just stand on the outside with the Erosa, like, I think you got decent grappling that, like, maybe Elkins gets desperate, shoots in, and maybe he can get a guillotine too. I think this fight is a fascinating matchup. I'm so excited to watch it. I'm really not happy to pick it. I'm picking Erosa, but I'm like, this is a fight card where, like, I have my fandom and then, like, I have my picks and who I'm like, it's like the trifecta. Like, you got your fandom, your bets, and your picks. Like, they're like three different entities. You got to separate yourself when you're going through these because, like, my fandom's picking Darren Elkins, but dude, the official picks is Erosa. Just because I don't want to sit there and watch 15 minutes on the outside and just see my guy Elkins get busted up, potential doctor stoppage there too. Just because like you just know, like my guy's been in so many wars, dude. So many fights, so many wars. He's always leading. I think Erosa's going to play it smart. 35. I think he's really trying. He's got a nice finish against Christian Rodriguez recently. I really do think that Julian Erosa, as long as he doesn't get touched on the chin, plays it a little bit safe, he's got a great chance to come out with a dub. So let's see what actually happens. But this should be a fascinating fight. Dude, there are so many great fights on this, but definitely the first one kicking it off. I'm in love with this card. Let's go, baby. Go to Rosa with the official pick there. Next up, we're going to the lightweight division. Jim freaking Miller, 38-18, coming off a win versus Chase, the Truth Hooper. 15-3-1, standing at 6'1", 74-inch reach, 3-inch advantage, about 5 on the height, and yeah. As much as I love Jim Miller, you really can't pick him, right? Chase Hooper's literally a savage, a killer. He's developed so much to where he is at 25 years old. His grappling is next level. I think he's filled out his frame exceptionally. I think he's very comfortable in the octagon. He's really maturing as a professional fighter, and I think he can get it done any way he wants. I think the ground and pound is legit. Probably ends that way. Yeah, Jim Miller's got great guillotine. He's got great power. He's got great durability. But man, the war with Bobby Miller just took some years off his fighting life, and I don't get why he's taking a fight like this with this matchup. But I think he's gonna go in there and scrap. I want to say I think this fight can end by a finish, but I can also see it going to decision just because Jim Miller's so freaking tough. But I do think Hooper by submission is probably the most likely thing to happen. Like, bro is nasty with the grapple game. He's got extreme limbs, good strength, power ratio, great control on it as well. Like, he's never leveraged out of his position because of his height, right? Like, man, I just, this is a Chase Hooper spot. Chase Hooper's the pick. I don't know if I'd actually bet him some way. This one, it's one of those ones that, like, I definitely think Chase Hooper can win, but it's like, which way does he win? It's very hard to say because, like, you think, like, he could definitely get, like, the Clay Guida sub was an easy read in a way, but, he should have finished Borshov. They didn't call the stoppage there. My guy's still got the hematoma up there. I think Jim Miller's got potential to just be resilient and make him work really hard for the win and drag it out to decision. But, I mean, is Hooper for the submission? Is that, like, his thing? Let's see it. I think it is. I mean, I think his last, like, 3 big wins are by subs like that. So, the Chase Hooper spot should be a great matchup. We're going to see what Jim brings. Maybe he'll touch the chin and get him in a bad spot, win a round. But I think overall, Chase Hooper's the truth, man. 155. Going to have some problems with him coming up here in the next few years. Next, we're moving on to the women's strawweight bout here. Top contender, Yan Xiaonan, 19-4-1 no contest versus Virna Yandaroba, 21-3. Her girl Virna coming off a win, 4 in a row. And this is a do or die fight. This is title eliminator. And this one's really, I mean, I think a lot of people are on Yandaroba just because of her recent form, and I'm kind of like a little skeptical picking her. I am a fan, but I worry about her not getting the takedown. She's got to finish this fight, in my opinion. I think if this fight goes to decision, she'll just lose regardless. I think Yanan will just win enough at distance to just sneak 2 rounds in there. I think Virna will definitely get a round off on the scorecard, but like I think this is going to be going to the crooked judges. And this one, I don't really know. I'm going to pick Virna Yandaroba just because that's who I think is the better fighter, who I think has a chance to finish the fight, and who I think, as long as she can. My thing is, I just don't think Jan's got the takedown defense to sustain. I think she'll eventually slip up and get a little bit, and that's why that's kind of the official pick. I just think there's a few more moments that Virna's just gonna win in those crucial in those moments that when she does shoot, she'll get there where like she didn't get it before. I think she'll have the veracity, the just the heart to get it done. I don't think she'll get the win. I do want to see Verna get a sub so she really earns what she gets next because I do think she's a scrappy fighter, but I can definitely see her getting picked apart from the outside if she can't establish her game. Hopefully, man, these highly ranked women's fights, I think about that Lemos fight, they can go so many ways depending on who kind of gets control. And I mean, it's really who's just better on the nights. I really just think Verna's just been in better form. I don't think Jan is as polished as even like her credentials lead her to be, right? Getting opportunities against Wei Li. She did not look good against Wei Li. Losses to Esparza and Marina Rodriguez, so let's really see what happens here. I think Verna's going to get the job done. I think it's her time, and I think it's her run, and this is the one to get a job done. Let's go, baby. On to the feature prelim, ladies and gentlemen. We got Dan 50K Ige 18-9 coming off a loss versus Sean Woodson 13-1-1 coming off a win. And Ige fought Diego Lopes on hours notice. We got Woodson coming in here off a nice 5-0 run, just piecing up people, using the length. And this is the classic Eminem fights. The minutes over moments here. Sean Woodson's gonna look really good for a lot. I can't, Sean Woodson weighing in at 145 is incredible. Dude, but if there's one person that can get in there and slip the D and do the damage, it's Dan Ige, man. He's got power in the hands. He can put him down, and I don't see many people picking it, which is really kind of why I'm leaning towards it. There's a few. This fight card is fascinating in terms of how people think it's going to shake down, and I do think it's not going to be as clear cut as like people think it's going to be, like KO, KO, KO. But there is a lot that I do think Woodson's chin can get touched, right? I do think that there are some holes in his game, but I do think he's going to look so much more massive. I'm a big Woodson fan here. This is like again, this is an incredible card. It is because like I'm just in between picking who I like as a fan, who I'm trying to actually analyze, who actually is going to come in there and maybe get a finish, right? We got the big octagon. The moments matter for certain people a little bit more. And I kind of like Dan Ige here. I'm kind of willing to go against what I initially wanted to in my guy Woodson. Dude, these are just some incredible matchups, incredible moments. Like, I just think of, what do you do in this situation? Like, I do think Sean Woodson's an absolute problem. I think he's a menace in the flyweight, but I do think he does lack the center of mass power that Dan Ige presents. And is he going to be able to exploit that? It's very hard to predict that happening. Why the official pick will be Woodson, and maybe I'll be completely wrong here because I definitely just like Woodson over I just think he's just smooth with it, man. And this is definitely the best competition he's fought, right? But that doesn't mean he won't rise to it too. I think as guys get into like that state where he's coming down from middleweight. You've seen Woodson's basically Brian Battle doppelganger sometimes. With coming down from the weight. Guy's 6'2", so I really do think that has a trajectory in his career. Contender, prospect versus contender, right? Because like Dan Ige's a contender, right? He's a certified gatekeeper contender. Woodson's definitely a prospect on his way up with the guys that he's fought. But man, Padilla, Jourdain, those are good wins. Zala, he lost to a Rosa. That's his only loss. And I mean, that guy's on the card too. I'm picking Woodson here. I'm not going to go against it. I do think Ige's got mad live for the win. Knockout potential, 100%. One of the great fights we'll be rooting for. And that's why I think I'm going to pick Woodson, because I can like also pick for Woodson. And then like if Ige wins, I'll be like, all right, that's still pretty cool though. Because like, we'll see how it shakes out. I'm very excited to watch this fight. Featherweight division is ever killers. The title's on the line here. You never know, man. Spectacular finish could put one of these guys on the doorstep, right? You never know who could get hurt in the weight cuts, who can get hurt, in the build-up. Let's go, baby! On to the main card, UFC Miami. We got a week off next week, ladies and gentlemen. We're going on to the men's light heavyweight division here. Nikita Krylov making his return, 30-9 against Dominic Reyes, 14-4, coming off 2 straight wins here. And man, the only thing I feel really confident about here is like the fight just ends by KO. Like, I don't know who ends it by KO. I don't really trust Reyes' chin getting finished by spam jab, right? I definitely think Krylov can come in there and look really good. And I definitely, I think I'm just going to pick Krylov. I don't want to pick against Reyes again because I think he bummed me against Jacoby, and he looked really good. He looked massive in there, but that was a small octagon, and I wonder how he's going to handle the big octagon a little. You know, different from being in the Apex to going on to these main event cards, right? I mean, he did have Anthony Smith fight was at the big octagon. I was thinking of just Jacoby, but boy, man, these matchups are incredible, dude. Even these guys, essentially, like some of the older guys that have been around. It's like, who do you really favor here? I mean, I really do I like Reyes a lot here. I can definitely see Reyes being the pick. Plus money, he's been a dog the last 3 fights. Like sometimes, like you just look at stuff and they just like make the dog. Like nobody believes in them, and they just keep winning. That's actually that's a very trendy on the fight card as well. Man, I don't know. I really just like violence here. I like this fight to end. It's hard to really want to pick and trust Reyes' chin, right? But I do think he's probably just been more alive in terms of his legs, right? Like Krylov, what has he been doing, man? You know, I know he's been recovering, he's been healing. You know, it's kind of like I don't know, man. It's been a while. And I'm not saying anything against him. I have no idea how to really favor. I'm picking Krylov. Let's just go Krylov. Epic return. Just touches the chin, gets the win. Krylov, let's go, baby. Next, we're moving to the men's featherweight division. What a matchup here, ladies and gentlemen. We got Bryce Mitchell against Gene Lord Silva, man. Mitchell 17-3, coming off the win against Gracie, and we got Gene Silva 15-2, just fighting nerds, freaking legend. And man, we got some bad blood here. We got some freaking. I don't get it, man. The odds opened up big time for Bryce. They've been bet down. They really think his grapple game is going to kind of take advantage here. And I think they're going to say his overhand right. Or, I mean, not his overhand right. I just think he'll, I was just reading how Bryce Mitchell lost to Josh Emmett on the other side. I just think, I think they're thinking his ground game is going to control the striking of Gene Silva, which I don't really agree with. I think the more and more this fight gets closer to, I like Gene Silva here. Just don't trust Bryce Mitchell, man. I think he's a very talented fighter. I think he's super skilled, and I think he's very high fight IQ, low life IQ. But man, finishing Jourdain, finishing Dober, finishing Melsick, finishing Wilson, beating VI, like, dude is a killer. This might be the toughest fight of his career, though. Might be the toughest fight of his career. I'm picking Silva. Ain't no way I'm not picking Silva. Just because I'm not picking Mitchell. Hell no, picking Mitchell, bro. If he goes and wrestles him and bores me for 15 minutes, so be it. If plus money you should have bet on him, so be it. No, won't happen. I got Gene Lord Silva by KO here, and I was a Mitchell fan. I was a way more of a Mitchell fan, and I respect his fight game, but I'm not gonna pick him. I'm not gonna root for him. So let's go Gene Lord Silva by KO here. I just think the dude's actually got serious power. I think it's one of those things too that once you get damaged severely, you're never kind of the same. And I think he could come in there, hit him with a knee, hit him with a kick, wobble Mitchell. This, like, if you get wobbled and you don't got the balance to take somebody down, it's over for a wrestler, right? And I think that's where Bryce Mitchell's flaws exist in UFC high level mixed martial arts, is that, like, once the wrestlers get wobbled, they can't, it's harder to take them down, right? Like, the other guy's more got to make a mistake, especially if he's clean. I think Mitchell can strike. I think Mitchell can stand on his feet, but the more he does that, I think as soon as he level change, I think we could see absolutely spectacular knockout from Gene Silva too. I think we can see a flying knee potential. I think we can see some nasty roundhouse kick. I think we can see anything, honestly, uppercut. So I mean, I'm picking Silva here, and I think that man is arguably gonna is dude. Wow, just wow right now. Let's go, baby. I'm fired up. We got another featherweight fight here, dude. They can almost do anything after this card. Our guy Yair Rodriguez, 16-5-1, no contest, coming off the loss to Ortega versus Patricio Pitbull Ferrari. I don't know how to say his name, man. 36-7, Bellator legend. Man, I had my initial picks of I put Pitbull and Patty in a parlay together with Silva, I think. Ended up canceling the bet. I don't know. I just don't feel comfortable. I don't know how to feel about some of these fights, man. Like, I want to trust Jair. And yeah, Jair is probably a better striker. And I want to pick Pitbull because I think his pedigree is there. I don't know if I can trust Jair, man. Like, that Ortega fight, it was, I don't know what happened. What happened? Putting money on picking Rodriguez and him losing to Ortega like that. And then Ortega just getting absolutely starched on the feet by Lopes, man. Getting knocked out twice to get knocked in and fight for 15 minutes is brutal. Man, I like Pitbull here too. He's kind of like Dan Ige. Kind of reminds me of Woodson. Like, I just don't trust Jair, man. Like, that last fight was just one of those things that, like, is this guy that high level? Is he? He beat Josh Emmett for the interim title. Like, I don't know, man. What do you guys? This one's very questionable. Like, and it's hard to pin Pitbull in here to come in there and get the win. But I think I'm picking that. I don't really want to pick Yair again, bro. I want to pick Pitbull. You know what I mean? Like, that's, and then I wanted to bet him too, but I was like, maybe I'll keep off the bet. So maybe we will just do the official picks because, like, it seems like usually like UFC experience, you know, the metrics, what he's performed against legendary fighters, you know, just in terms of the competition over his entire career, man. Yair has been against everybody: Ortega, Emmett, Volkanovski, Holloway, Zombie, Frankie Edgar. You know what I mean? But Pitbull, Patricio, my namesake, I gotta pick him, dude. Bellator legend. He's got to come in here. I think he'll get a decision win. I think he'll fight real high level championship medal for 3 rounds, and he'll beat Yair. Right? I think this is one that we're gonna end up wishing is gonna be, again, probably really slick, really close, and I just don't really trust Yair to get the job done at the end of the day. It's one that I'm a fan, but after that last performance, like, who knows what we're, you know, I'm just going to pick Pitbull, man. I think he's going to touch the chin, get him down, you know, maybe get him in a bad spot, and maybe Yair just doesn't get back up, man. I've seen him finish twice now. Volkanovski, seen him finish against Ortega, and Pitbull's up there, man. Pitbull's up there. You know, not just because you ain't been in the UFC don't mean you can't scrap. So I think he's a born killer, and let's go Patricio Pitbull. Go over Yair Rodriguez, the official pick. Let's go, baby. This is the other one that I'm really back and forth on. The co-main event 5-round thriller. Michael Chandler versus Patty the Baddie Pemblett. Chandler 23-9, coming off a loss to Oliveira. Patty 22-3, coming off a win against King Bobby Green. And this one, I had a Patty all day, and I'm kind of reeling myself back in a little bit because the 5 rounds scare me. The 5 rounds against a true ranked contender really scare me. Kind of in a way like Pfeiffer, Hermanson. Like man, come 4 and 5, if Patty gasses out, like, it could be Chandler time. I think Chandler 4, Chandler 5 is hella live. I can see Patty winning the fight by points, but losing it being finished. This is a make or break fight, and I don't know if I'm picking Chandler here. I'll probably still pick Patty, but as I talk myself back, like I had Pitbull and Patty in the parlay with Gene Silva, and I had to talk myself off those two guys because I don't know what I can trust in these two fights. Right? Like to me, that's just I'm gambling. I'm not even really. I wasn't really capping, and the more I go into this, and the more you look at it late, and it's like, man, you have to have concerns with Patty 4, Patty 5. He's never been there. Now, does it get there? That's always one of those things that like, oh yeah, he's got to worry about his cardio late, and the guy finishes him in the second round. You know what I mean? Like that's always you get like as you sit here talking heads about the fight game. That's always the situation. Oh, you don't have deep water 4 or 5. Oh, who cares? He finishes him in the second. He finishes him in the third. It's over. So I think that's definitely where like I want to pick and favor Patty too, because I do think it's Patty early, Patty 1, Patty 2. As soon as he gets to that third round, I think it's Chandler time. So it's can Patty get the like how good's that grapple game to finish off Chandler? It's got to be locked tight, and I do think Patty performs. I really do. People are discrediting the Bobby Green win. I think he made Bobby make a mistake, right? Chandler does get a chance to rock somebody, and he has put put big guys on their backs, right? This is fascinating. I mean, I can understand people getting behind Chandler. I can see, but like I also don't trust him to perform in the moment. I don't think he's the best performer. I think Chandler does make he's a massive liability in the middle of the octagon to make a mistake and just lose, right? And just make some boneheads, like it's his. This is like one of those fights. Like who cares? Throw the records out the window because of who they fought, right? Gagey, Poirier, Oliveira versus Levitt, Gordon, and Green. You know what I mean? Like the records don't matter because almost anybody you put in the UFC has the same records against those guys if they're good, right? Man, what a fascinating matchup here. I'm gonna pick Patty again. I'm just going with the Patty Patricio, Patty Pembley again. Going with the namesake, keeping it simple. I can't pick Chandler. I do think he does have a great chance to win, man. I do think Chandler is live 3, live 4, live 5, live on the cards too. Like I can see just him. He's super strong, man. If Patty can't keep him down, he gets up, has just power in the exchanges, and Patty just chin up, walking back. I could just see it not looking the best in a way. Like, try and jump a gilly, and then boom, Chandler's on top, and then you're defending. That's around Chandler, right? Like, boy, this is a fascinating matchup. 5 rounds is a must for this fight, and I can't wait to see it, dude. I'm picking Patty. Just can't pick Chandler. Just can't do it. But I can see him getting the job done. Not going to root for him either. He's a little long in the tooth. Don't want to hear this dude call out McGregor either. I want Patty to come out and call out Topuria, which would be a fire-ass moment. So let's see it, Patty. Come on, baby! Let's go! Juiced up for the main event here, ladies and gentlemen. It's time! 5 rounds for the UFC Undisputed Featherweight Championship of the World! Alexander the Great Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. Man, Volkanovski 26-4, coming off the loss. Lopes 26-6 coming off the win. Noche against Ortega, and man, this is kind of like the same thing. Do you think the chin's gonna get touched? I think Volkanovski is that good, bro. I just think he's going to be better for 5 rounds. I just do. I really do. I think it's a jump up in terms of what Lopes had to do against who he had to do it against. Now, I do think he has absolute power of death, and he can touch up my guy. I've been on the Lopes train since Ila Voilev. I was almost on him that night, but when I've been with him. He's been on the Bomber squad. He's been captain, honestly. He's literally our champ right now. He's a champ of the underdog captain squad here. I do think he gets the job done. I do think he touches the chin, but I'm picking Volkanovski. I will not root against Alexander the Great Volkanovski. I will not pick against Alexander the Great Volkanovski, even though I do think he goes down. I won't. I have to just pick him. I have to root for him, and I have to pray for him to just outlast this guy for 5 rounds and just be just class act better. Just get one done, break the curse. Just I need to hear the land down under, even if it will be one more time after this. Just I need him to ride off into the sunset one more time for me. I need to pick it. I need to root for it. I need to try and manifest. I have to, man. I've just been hearing down under for the last couple weeks, dude, and just thinking about that man. And this is his last time to shine, and this is his last time for me to pick Volkanovski in a championship fight. If he doesn't get it done, I'll never be able to pick Alexander Volkanovski. Take that as you will with a grain of salt. But it's who I'm going to be picking. I cannot not pick my man from a land down under. Dude just comes in there and just walks against everybody. He's giving us some incredible moments, some incredible matchups. Boy, I got to pick him one more time, dude. I got to try and get him to ride into the sunset, dude. I got to do my job. I got to pick him, dude. I love Lopes. And I definitely I just don't think Lopes in Lopes in 3, Lopes in 4, Lopes in 5. If he can't hit the chin, it's not, bro. I mean, he got knocked out by 2 of the greatest fighters, arguably pound for pound in the UFC. Is Diego Lopes that? I don't think so. He's a great fighter, absolutely. I gotta go Volk, bro. The height on the overhand right scares the bleep out of me, by the way. Like, just that punch he lands on Ortega, he lands that on Volk, it's over. I'm scared. I'm gonna cry if I see that happen. But we got to pick Volkanovski here one more time. Hopefully the belt shines. We'll do a quick recap here. What an exciting fight card. Absolute stunners top to bottom. We're going to start with Cornell in the first round. Marco Tulio. We're going Mitch Raposo, Michelle Oleksiejczuk. Go Julian Erosa, Chase Hooper, Verna Yandaroba, and Sean Woodson. Nikita Krylov, Gene Silva, Patricio Pitbull, Patty the Batty Pemblett, and Alexander Volkanovski. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Pick all your winners in the comments. 100% correct is $100 I'll send to you. Thank you guys for watching. Take care of yourselves, your family. Peace and love, baby. Let's go!